Hi guys, Billy back, and this time we're looking at the Iron Man Mark II light up version by ZD Toys. Okay, as you can see, it's very similar to the original packaging. Just to show you, this is the original packaging just here. This has some cellophane on it at the moment, but you can see, yeah, pretty much the same, aren't they? I think actually this picture is a little bit more zoomed in than this one. There's a bit more of a headspace here. Nothing too big, but you know, it's a little different, I think. But other than that, I think these are pretty much the same. You can see you've got Disney logo there because it's officially licensed. And then on the side, you see you've got both Mark II there. Still got that sort of holographic sort of rainbow foil on there. Turn it around the back, it is exactly the same. And then on this side, again, exactly the same. Okay, let's get this open and have a look at it. Now this opens from the center and it does have magnetic clasps on either side. So once you open it up, you see you've got an image of the figure there, but without the chest piece just there. I really wish that would have been cool if they'd actually, you know, made a figure like that where you could take the chest piece off. But I don't think you're going to be able to do that with this guy. But then this is a budget range, so, you know, expectations should be a little bit more tempered. Okay, let's just pull this clasp off here, and we can see there is nothing on this side. They normally have like they usually have directions for how to put the stand together here, but it's not on this one. But you get this really cool sort of rainbow holographic foil effect on there. It's pretty trippy. Ooh. Okay, and then there is the figure inside just here. And then if we take that off, we can see we've actually got the stand here, and we've also got some extra hands and some extra accessories that you don't get with the normal version, which is pretty cool. Quite like the look of that. Okay, let's get this open and have a look at it outside of the box. Oh, and he also comes with a USB cable as well. And here he is unpacked, and as you can see, he is very similar to the original Mark II without the light up feature pretty much. That's the original just there. You can see, yeah, it's exactly the same to be honest, but with one interesting feature. Now the colouring on this guy is a little different. I don't know if it shows up on screen, but this guy has a slight, there's almost like a bit more of a darker tinge to the silver paint. It's not a lot, but compared to this guy, I think you can see, if you look at the chest areas, you can see this guy is a lot more of a lighter silver, whereas a bit more of a darker edge to this. Even like with the light reflecting off it, there's even like a little bit of a bronze hue coming through. Not a lot, but a little bit. And I think that's basically because they've either used a different silver paint, or they've just made it a bit more thicker so that it actually, you know, looks a little deeper. But I actually like the colour of this guy a little bit more. It even shows up the rivets just a slight fraction bit more on this guy, so there's a tiny bit more detail to him. But other than that, they're pretty much the same mould, the same sculpt, everything is pretty much the same. They even have all the same joints, including like the pop out shoulder joints here. Allow you to turn this all the way around. He's got a double jointed arm here, so you can get more than 90 degrees bend. He does have bicep swivel. The head can do a 360 turn. The torso can pop up and down, so you can bend him forward and back, but remember you get that ugly seam there. There is no lower waist joint here, but you do have legs that go out to about there, but then when you drop them down, they can go out even further. There is a double bend in the knees, and I always love this sculpting that they put inside the knee area here. It actually adds just a little bit more detail to the figure itself. And then there is a decent amount of ankle pivot and swivel. So other than a slightly deeper silver paint job on the light up version, the only thing that is different is on the back, and that is here. You can see he does have this little bit that pops out. You can remove that, and he's got a USB port here so you can charge him. And then underneath the right flap here, there is a little button. Press that on, and the eyes and the chest light up, and that really does give this just a little bit more of an advantage over the normal version, because it just adds that little bit more sort of life to the figure itself. However, the light up feature can fade over time. It's not like it's a very big battery in there, so it can fade within, I'd say 20 to 30 minutes roughly. So yeah, it's not going to last forever, but you know, if you're doing photography or anything, it can actually work really well. However, like the Mark III version, you can see that the light can escape out from underneath the neck and shine on the chest here. So sometimes just closing down that head there and pushing it downwards will stop that light from escaping. But yeah, it's not a big deal. It still looks pretty cool with a little bit of light around this sort of area here, showing off these collarbone details. But yeah, you might want to push the head down for photography purposes. Now with the accessories, he comes with mostly the same stuff that you would see in the non-light up version. However, there is some variance in there, including this stand here that actually, it looks the same as the original, except for it has a spring mounted clasp, which is pretty cool. That's something you only get with the light up versions. And also you can see it's got the Marvel Studios logo here instead of the Iron Man Mark II logo from the original version. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It is a lot more subtle. It's probably the best way to say it. It makes it, you know, so you can use this with any figure really. It doesn't have to be an Iron Man because you can't see any Iron Man logos on there. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. In a way, I'm actually quite happy about it, but in other ways, I'd rather they stuck with the uniformed Iron Man logos that they had on these stands, just because they all looked out there, and this is going to stand out a little bit if he's in a lineup with all the other stands in the collection. He also comes with 2 blast effects. Now normally the original comes with 4 blast effects, but they only give you 2 with this one. Not entirely sure why, but then I guess it's just because if you're collecting this range, you've probably got a ton of these blast effects already, so it's no big deal that they give you 2 less really. But if this is your one and only figure, you might be a bit disappointed because you can't use the blast effects on the hands and the feet at the same time. However, to make up for the lack of blast effects, they give you some extra accessories, and these ones are pretty interesting. These are like little tools for Tony Stark for when he's working on stuff. Now there isn't a Tony Stark figure in the collection, and there isn't like a workshop version, but it's quite cool that they've given you these. I remember the Mark III light up version actually had I think it was forearm. Let me just get them here. It actually came with forearm blasters there, which wasn't on the original version. Only the light up version came with these forearm rocket shooter pieces here. So it is nice that they're giving you extra accessories that can go with the collection, because it's nice to have a variation. And you get 2 of these sort of tools. One is a pliers and one is like a wire cutter. You can see they've both got different coloured handles, quite nicely detailed for like 1/10 scale. And then he also comes with this little screwdriver here, which again, another little tool for the workshop. However, I will say, I don't know what you would use these for, how they would be used. Maybe if they bring something out in the future, those little tools will make more sense. But at the moment, they're just a nice little accessory for your collection, really, not just for your Iron Man, but just for your figures in general. And then of course he comes with 2 repulsor heart blast hands, where you can take these and put these into the hands as per normal, just like that. And they're very nicely detailed. They've got very nice sort of silver paintwork on them. And then of course he's got open palm repulsor hands with the repulsor painted. And then he's got slightly more relaxed hands with the repulsor painted in. And then he's got 2 fisted hands which already come on the figure. Okay, and here he is just all lit up. You can see the light in the chest arc reactor and the eyes. And I have to say, this is a really nice looking figure, and with the LEDs in there, it really adds a little bit of life to this guy. Overall, I really enjoyed this ZD Toys Iron Man lineup. I think if they'd have actually released a light up versions with the non-light up versions, you know, simultaneously, I think people would have, you know, been able to gravitate towards one or the other. I think some people have already doubled down on the non-light up versions, which means they might not pick up this light up version, especially as they don't seem to be teasing a lot of these, you know, having light up features. They've only done the Mark III and the Mark II so far, so hopefully they actually double down and do the whole Marks 1 to 7 in the same sort of style. But because they did the non-light up versions first, I think some people may be a bit reluctant to pick up the light up versions. Me personally, I'm picking up every single one of these I can get, simply because I love the range, I love the designs. I think ZD Toys have done a great job with the designs of the suits, plus the actual paintwork, plus there is enough articulation that you can actually have fun with these guys. It's not like these are just like glorified statues in 1/10 scale. These are posable figures, and it just adds just a little bit more excitement to the range, and it just adds a little bit more to these, especially as ZD Toys, when they did their endgame lineup, they did a whole bunch of figures that had barely any articulation in them whatsoever, and it was just a shame because they're really nice looking figures and they do great paint jobs, but their articulation was lacking. But with these Iron Man figures, I think they've got a best of both worlds type situation. And if you do get a chance, pick up the light up versions, just because they do add a little bit more level of realism that you wouldn't get with the non-light up version. Plus you get a couple of little accessories that you wouldn't get with the normal ones, so you know there is a little bit of variation in them, so you can change it up a little bit. Plus you can always battle damage them. I mean, I had a bit of fun battle damaging a Mark III non-light up version a little while ago, and yeah, that was fun. So I recommend doing that if you get more than one of these, because this is quite an easy thing. If you want to go on my YouTube channel, you can see me battle damage this up. Yeah, you can just see me do it just on camera, so you know, if you need any tips, you'll be able to get them there. Plus the non-light up version review is also up on the channel, as are all the ZD Toys Iron Man figures that have been released so far in this range. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you do me a favour now, you can get the fuck out of my cave. I'm going to go find a place on the shelf for this guy next to my light up Mark III, and that is going to be fun. And that's because the Mark III is just as cool with the light up features in them. Bye bye guys.